Today I will show you why All Might have an Iron Man suit in his suitcase to help him fight All for One last time. This is the second part of a 3-video series about All Might's last day on Earth. You don't have to watch the videos in order. They are designed to be watched in any order, so feel free to watch the first part after you finish this video here. The link is in the comments. If you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. Please enjoy this video. Let's go! Last week we talked about why All Might will return one last time to fight All for One and Shigaraki to protect Deku, with All Might most likely dying. But it's not enough to have evidence that All Might will return, we also need to understand how exactly he can return. After all, he is currently unable to use One for All effectively and his body is too weak to fight anyway. It is very important to understand the reason why All Might can no longer use the One for All quirk. Many believe that the reason is that he transferred the One for All ability to Deku, which is why he slowly lost the ability to use One for All. The more time passed, the less he could use One for All. But that's not entirely true. Certainly the ability to use One for All after it is transferred decreases over time. But even before he transferred One for All, he could only use the quirk for a few minutes. So Deku has absolutely nothing to do with it. In fact, we don't know how long you can use One for All after you pass it on to the next user. Let's take Nana Shimura for example. It has been suggested that she was still able to use One for All even 3 years after she had transferred it to All Might. When Nana Shimura died against All for One, All Might was already in his 3rd year. Just like Deku, All Might received One for All before joining the UA, therefore 3 years. Deku has One for All a little more than a year now, so All Might still be able to use One for All with a very high power, definitely enough to be a great support against All for One and Shigaraki. There is no doubt that the capacity of how much energy can be used after transferring One for All decreases over time, otherwise it just wouldn't make sense. But One for All is so powerful that I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a few years for the loss of power to become greatly noticeable. And it's a fact that All Might, for example, has shown Stain that he is indeed still able to transform into his muscle form, but can't maintain it for more than a few seconds. Every time he uses One for All, his body hurts, proving that his inability to use this quirk is not from the transmission, but because his body is damaged. So he's definitely still able to use One for All, but it's pretty much useless. What's really holding him back is the injury he received many years ago against All for One, and that was actually explained in more detail in one of the movies. David Shield, one of All Might's best friends, told him that his quirk level has dropped drastically. So the quirk level is something like the body's ability to use a quirk. Due to All Might's injury, this level has decreased, in addition to the natural decrease after the transfer to Deku. And after the second fight against All for One, this level dropped almost to 0 because he once again used more energy than his body could handle, increasing the damage he suffered many years ago. So that now he's not able to use One for All at all, although he should theoretically be able to, just like Nana Shimura. And here's the reality. In theory, Eri could restore All Might's body so that he could use One for All again at high power. But I can well imagine that he wouldn't want to risk that because he doesn't know how that would affect Deku, since his One for All is directly connected to Deku's One for All. Although they can both use this ability separately, they still use the same quirk. All users are connected. At the time I theorized that Eri could restore his body, but I didn't consider that she would also restore the quirk factor of One for All, and thus the progress Deku might have made as a new user of One for All. Perhaps Deku would even lose One for All if Eri restored All Might's body to what it was before the quirk was transferred to Deku. That would be devastating because Deku has made One for All more powerful than ever before. He's easily stronger than All Might ever was. But then there's also the aspect that One for All seems to have a lot to do with will. For example, it can be transferred if the current user doesn't want to transfer it. Or it can be returned, which allows temporary transfers, just as we have seen with Bakugo. So maybe this aspect is not affected by Eri's quirk. Another possibility is that Eri's quirk can only restore the body of All Might, but does not affect the One for All quirk because it is not his original quirk and therefore does not belong to his body. This would be perfect. because that way it could bring back All Might's body, allowing him to use One for All to its full extent, at least as much as is still available to him after the transfer to Deku, which should still be a very large amount since the One for All quirk is very powerful, so that will definitely be possible. But there's more that could help All Might return, namely support items. This possibility has already been hinted at in the manga and in the movies, and yes, the movies are indeed canon. This has been confirmed. One day when All Might was helping Deku with his training, it came out that Deku had ordered support items to strengthen his body so he could use more One for All without hurting himself. Just like All Might is hurting himself right now when using One for All. At that moment, All Might revealed that he had also used support items in the past, but the equipment was too bulky for him and not effective in close combat. But when Mei finished Deku's order, All Might realized that the equipment is actually quite compact nowadays. He definitely found an interest in the new technology, so he might well consider this option for himself to match his own weak body. This idea is made even clear by the fact that he himself later ordered support items for Deku from America, most likely produced by David Shield. So it's not impossible that he also ordered something for himself, especially because David Shield in the past already tried to restore All Might's power. He spent many years researching the development of devices that can revive quirks. Eventually he invented an item that could exponentially increase the power of the user's quirk without directly affecting the body. This is the quirk level I explained at the beginning of the video. This item was eventually destroyed after it proved to work perfectly, even though it was still in the testing phase. Such a device would even help All Might to use One for All with high quirk level, even if he has already transferred it. This would be possible as long as he still has this quirk, so maybe for a few more years. The only thing that could still prevent him from using this technology and thus the One for All quirk is his weak body. But even if Eri for whatever reason didn't restore All Might's body, he can still use other support items to strengthen his body, just like the support items he gave to Deku. And this is where All Might's mysterious suitcase comes into play. We saw him leaving the headquarters with a suitcase, the same suitcase he was carrying at the beginning of the final saga when he jumped out of his car to fight two villains. And this car is not just a normal car. All Might has confirmed that this special car is called Hercules and can withstand any damage thanks to its special armor. Unfortunately, we didn't see how he defeated the two villains, but it's at least possible that he used support items and that it might have something to do with the suitcase. It could enhance the quirk level of All Might and maybe use the same technology he ordered for Deku that prevents the body from taking damage while using One for All. This way, even though his body is weak, he could still use One for All. And who knows, it might even use the Hercules technology to protect All Might from any damage a villain could do, and that would literally be an Iron Man suit. Just a few seconds ago, they were making fun of him, and then suddenly they ran away. So the fact that he is now holding that suitcase again and leaving the headquarters could be a hint that he might use that suitcase again to keep his promise to protect Deku until he himself dies. Just as Nana Shimura died to protect All Might, this is a duty that the previous user of One for All has to the current one. To understand what this means and why All Might will die fulfilling Sir Night Eye's prophecy, you need to watch the first video, the link is in the comments. What do you think of this theory? Let me know in the comments. If you like this Boku no Hero Academia video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more My Hero Academia content, then please subscribe to this channel with the notification bell activated. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye.